Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be sharing the things I did to prepare my body for labor and delivery. So I just had my baby boy about 4 months ago, and I had shared my birth story on this channel, and I think I promised in that video that I will share some of the things I did to prepare my body for labor and delivery, because in my opinion I had relatively a smooth labor and delivery and it wasn't anything wild. And I honestly attribute that to the things I did to prepare my body for labor and delivery. If you know me well, you know that I have a very low pain threshold. I honestly hate pain. So from as little as taking injections, I hate pain. So I knew, or from the stories I heard about labor and delivery, I'm just like, if I'm not prepared, I don't think I can survive it. So I sort of prepared my body in advance for that from the moment I found out I was pregnant. So in this video I will just be sharing the things I did from the beginning. Now I did not exactly record the videos, even though I took pictures of like my meals and things like that. I didn't record a video to like while I was pregnant for that, but I documented that and I took notes so that I can share it now. I made a video for like my third trimester, when I was in my third trimester, on my morning routine, my exercise routine, because exercise was one of the things I did. I'll be sharing that in another video, but today I will just be talking to you guys. I have my notes here, so I'll just be telling you guys the things I did to help myself prepare for labor and delivery. So let's get into the video. I'm not sure I introduced myself already. If you don't already know, my name is Omolade Ajayi. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, please subscribe, and if you've been here before, thank you for coming back again to watch my video. So how did I prepare myself for labor? I would basically be dividing it into 3 parts, because I prepared my body physically, prepared my body mentally, and I prepared my body with respect to my food, right? So I'll be starting from like my meals, the things I did food-wise to prepare myself for labor. Now, when I found out I was pregnant, the first thing I did was research about like the nutrients I needed, basic nutrients that I needed, because honest truth is, I've never been pregnant before. I don't know how this is done, right? Even though I have a certification in nutrition, it wasn't exactly tailored to pregnancy. So I had to do some research on how to tailor my diet to pregnancy, right? So aside getting prenatals, I got my prenatal vitamins and I started taking that. In another video I will share the prenatal vitamins I took and all of that, but this is just my food, right? My daily meals. Now the first thing I want to point out is you need to debunk the myth that you are eating for 2. You're not eating for 2. Let's stop deceiving ourselves. Like if you've heard it before that, oh, when you are pregnant you're eating for 2. Carry that theology, wrap it like this and throw it inside the dustbin, because it is a lie. That's how they set you up for failure. You're not eating for 2 because first of all, when you are pregnant, the baby in your womb is literally this tiny. And when most women say they're eating for 2, they are eating twice the portion they will normally eat. So you are eating a whole person's portion, a whole human's portion for a baby that is literally this tiny. Why are you deceiving yourself? You're already setting yourself for failure. You're setting yourself up for unnecessary weight gain, setting yourself up for unnecessary health issues in pregnancy. So just try debunk that myth, throw it away inside the dustbin. You're not eating for 2, you're eating for 1. Until like your 3rd trimester, you're eating for yourself. Your portion size should remain the regular portion that you normally eat. And then by your 3rd trimester, when baby now is bigger, you can increase your portion to about 1.5, but you are not still eating for 2. Shegbomi, let me say it in Yoruba for those that understand. Do you understand me? Okay, yeah, so now that we put that aside, one thing I did, or one thing I want to point out, is when you're pregnant, your hormones are surging, so you most likely have increased appetite, and that is why a lot of women eat for 2. To help myself with that, I started eating every 2 hours. I plan myself to eat every 2 hours so that I'm not getting unnecessarily hungry. Now, I need to also say this is a disclaimer. This is not to say that there were not days that I ate jargons. Let me just put it like that, because, well, no food is jargons, but there were days that I ate unnecessarily, I ate excessively, because I was just like, you know what, I just feel like eating, so I'll just eat a whole box of pizza, eat when I was pregnant. I had days like that, but this is about like my regular diet, right? So I started eating every 2 hours, and how I divided it is, in the morning, first thing in the morning when I wake up, I drink tea or something of that sort, and then after taking a shower and all preparing for work, I have my breakfast. 2 hours after that, I have a snack. And my snacks are usually fruits. So I either have an apple, kiwi, carrots. I always used to go to work with carrots or watermelon or pineapple, fruits in a bowl as a snack 2 hours right after breakfast. After that, 2 hours after that, I would then have my lunch. 2 hours after lunch, I have another snack of something that I can be accounted, like, honestly, there were days that I just took like a bag of chips and had that as my snack, but I had a snack 2 hours after lunch. Then 2 hours after that, that's when I have dinner when I get back home. So I was eating every 2 hours. That's another thing I need to mention. Now, the third thing I need to mention, I already said from the beginning that you're not eating for 2. You're not eating for 2, but your nutrients are now, you now need to eat almost twice, try to get twice the nutrients you were getting before. This is very complicated, right? Because now, if you're trying to get your meals to be extremely nutrient dense, because you need more nutrients that you would need when you're not pregnant, in addition to taking your vitamins, because that way you are getting more nutrients, one thing I did was increasing my consumption of things that I knew that were very high in the nutrients I needed. One of that was spinach. So I started eating a lot of spinach. I used to target eating 2 to 3 cups of spinach every day, almost every day. So most people that did not know I was pregnant, and I used to share my meals on like WhatsApp status or like on my Instagram stories, and they're like, "Oh, Mo, how are you eating this salad? It looks so boring." I'm like, I need it, fam. I need the nutrients. I will pack like 2 cups of spinach in my bowl, then I'll add chicken and all that stuff to make a salad. Then for my breakfast, if I'm having a sandwich, I will layer it with spinach. Because honestly, when you're pregnant, your blood volume increases by about 30 to 50%. Now, what happens when you have an increased blood volume is that your body's need for iron and folate is higher. You need more iron, you need more folate. Spinach is is a leafy green that is very rich in iron and folic acid, right? As when you're pregnant, most likely the doctors will tell you get iron supplements, get folic acid and all that stuff. Include spinach in your diet. That's one way to get more iron and folate. Also, in addition to that, spinach is also rich in calcium. Now, there's like an inverse relationship between calcium and blood pressure, right? So the more calcium you eat, the lower it helps to lower your blood pressure. But there's a caveat to that, because excessive calcium can lead to your blood pressure being too low in pregnancy. You don't want your blood pressure to get too low. You also don't want your blood pressure to be high, because if your blood pressure is high, it can lead to gestational hypertension. If you're pregnant, you most likely know about that. And all these complications, you really don't need it in pregnancy. Now, I wouldn't even say that I didn't have all these issues, because honestly, even though I was eating all these things, I was still anemic when I was pregnant. And anemia is like when you need iron, right? You need more iron. I was anemic. When you are anemic, you experience extreme tiredness, lethargy. That's literally the same thing. dizziness. I experienced all these things even though I was eating more. I started eating more spinach in pregnancy, right? So this is not to say that you will not still have tough days even though you're doing it, but these were just things I tried to do. I just tried my best to eat more of these things to get my body loaded with more iron. Now I wrote this down so that I can read it. 100 grams of spinach contains about 99 milligrams of calcium. It has and it's just about 23 calories. 100 grams of spinach, it's very low in calories. So also you are avoiding gaining excessive weight, because gaining weight, too much weight in pregnancy is not also good for the baby. It's not also good for you, right? So you need to try to eat meals that would help you not to gain so much weight. So that was why eating spinach was very, very, very good for me. Folate is very good. It helps to prevent birth defects of the brain and the spine, like of the baby. So it helps to prevent your baby having a baby that has like spine issues or brain issues. So it includes spinach in your meal. That's what I'm just trying to tell you. If you're pregnant, try eat it however you can. Cook it, add it to your salads, add it to your sandwiches, add it to your smoothies. What else? Efori roll if you're Nigerian. Cook it. You get all these things, right? Add spinach to your meals. Okay, the next thing I did, because like I said before, you're trying to include more meals that are include more nutrients in your meal, right? So something else I did was eating tofu. I had a lot of questions about this one. People were like, Mom, when did you start eating tofu? I don't like tofu. Tofu doesn't taste good. This one, I'm just like, you people don't know what I'm battling with. I need these nutrients. I'm gonna eat the tofu. Now, when you're pregnant, you're essentially developing a human being, right? Now, I don't know, but for me, my elementary science in school, they taught us that protein is that nutrient you need for bodybuilding. What do you mean by bodybuilding? Building the body, building the cells that. So if I'm trying to develop a human being, I'm essentially building a new human. So I need proteins. You need what? Proteins. I can't even emphasize this enough. You need to increase your protein consumption. If you're Nigerian, you know that the way we eat normally, you eat rice and stew and add one meat on top of it and say you've eaten protein. That's not enough protein. Include more protein in your meals. So I started eating tofu because tofu is also high in protein, and it doesn't come with the excessive baggage of having excessive cholesterol or saturated fat and all of that. That's beef. Beef is also something that is very good in pregnancy because there are like 9 essential amino acids that the body needs, and your body cannot produce this by itself. You need to get it from your food or from supplements, right? And in pregnancy, you're even needing it not just for yourself, for the baby as well. So you need to include beef, red meat. But red meat is not really good for the heart's health, right? So eating tofu was one way for me to get more proteins without the excess baggage of cholesterol and all of that. I also started including more fish into my diet. So if you most likely saw my pictures when I was pregnant, there were times or my meal plans that I shared on Instagram, I tried to add salmon into my diet. Now salmon is expensive. So what I used to do was I used to buy salmon skin and find a way to include it in my diet without breaking the bank. I used to eat tilapia. I started including more more fish into my diet, right? Another thing that can help with that is shrimps and all these things, but I'm shellfish allergic, so I don't eat all of that. I only eat regular fish, right? It's not shellfish. What else? I used to take protein shakes a lot because honestly, it is very hard to get all the protein you need. In pregnancy, you need about 100 grams of protein, at least 100 grams of protein a day. It is very hard to get that consistently from just your meals. Yes, you can include things like quinoa, you can include things like bulgur in your meal, but I'm telling you, I'm being realistic here, it can really be hard to get the amount of protein you need, especially if you're not someone that is used to calorie counting or macro counting. You're not counting, okay, how many, measuring your meal, how much protein have I gotten from this meal, but you want to get more protein. You can include what's it called, You can include protein shakes, protein powder to your diet. I used to do that a lot when I was pregnant. So I think that was basically all about my meals. Okay, another thing I used to do, because in pregnancy, like I said before, you can get excessively tired. So one thing I did, or I used to do when I was pregnant, was drinking, I started drinking, there's this Herbalife tea that I included in my diet. I used to drink it in the mornings. I think I'll try to see if I can find a picture of these things and add them to this video. I don't like to edit, but I will try. Okay, so I'll try to just add the pictures here and there. So I used to take the Herbalife tea, which helps to boost NRGT. I think it's natural guana or something. I can't remember the name right now. I'll try to also link it. A lot of people have this thing against Herbalife. Honestly, I'm not really a huge fan, but that was one tea that helped me. It helps to boost my energy and my mood right in the morning, so that I'm able to get on with my day, and I'm not just, because when I'm excessively tired, you can't really be cooking. I'll just order takeout and all of that. When you're pregnant, you need to have energy to cook, right? So I used to take that tea. Another thing was I used to get excessively bloated and constipated. And when you're bloated, honestly, as a lady, you know, when you're bloated, you might not exactly be interested in eating anything. You're not comfortable, right? So I used to take, they also had this aloe vera, Herbalife aloe vera that I used to take to help me. And they had this fiber. Yes, that's another thing. You need a lot of fiber when you're pregnant, because there's a way, I don't know how to explain it. You need dietary fiber, because the growth of the baby sort of reduces your intestines are sort of like cramped up, right? So your bowel movement is not as good as before. Another thing is the hormones. I can't exactly remember the name of the hormone right now. The relaxin, I think it's relaxin, that your body produces, also reduces how well your bowel is moving. By that I mean like your digestive tract, right? Your gut. So you need fiber. So like I said, I was eating a lot of fruits and veggies, salads. I was also taking this Herbalife dietary fiber to help me to get more fiber in my meal. I think that is all about my meals. Aside that, I was just eating balanced meals, reducing my portions. Like I said, I wasn't eating for two. I was trying to a large extent to eat good portions. That doesn't mean I didn't gain weight. I still gained almost 50 pounds. So don't think that, oh, if you do all these things, you're not gain weight. It can help you. I feel like if I didn't do all of this, I might have gained like maybe 100 pounds. But I think I was able to like help myself by doing this. The second aspect was my exercise. So I tried to exercise a lot from the first day I found out I was pregnant till the day I delivered. I tried my best to exercise. It was very hard. I'm telling you this now. Exercising in pregnancy is extremely hard. If you're not even someone that was into like exercising before, like before I got pregnant, I was close to being a gym rat. I used to go to the gym a lot. And then I got pregnant and it was hard. Man, it was hard. So exercising really helps. I made a video already that I'm going to share later about my third trimester exercise routine. But what I try to do I try to do a lot of prenatal yoga. So at least once every week, at least once I did yoga. Most weeks I did 3 days a week, most of the time throughout pregnancy. At the beginning of pregnancy, when I was still in my first trimester, I used to walk to work. Instead of taking the bus or taking Uber, I used to walk. And that was like my exercise. So you can include walking. And then I got really tired. I started feeling anemic. So walking was really hard because I'll be panting. I'll feel like fainting. So I stopped walking and I just used to do 15 to 20 minutes of yoga in the morning before going to work. Yoga is very, 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 very good for pregnancy. Like I can't even, in the video I will share some of the benefits of some of the poses. Yoga helps to position your baby properly. Yoga helps to tone your body. It helps you to be fit. One thing about pregnancy or delivery is that like I've heard a lot of people say, is that delivery is like the most intense physical activity that a woman would ever have to do in her life. Because for some women, you're in labor for almost 20-30 hours. Some people are even in labor for almost 48 hours. It's a long period of time. It's like your body is physically exerting itself for almost 2 days. You need to be prepared for that. You really need to be prepared for that. So another thing I did towards the end of my pregnancy in my 3rd trimester was including a particular workout routine called EMOM, every minute on minute workout. I'll explain that briefly now. So the thing is, with contractions and labor, you're having your contractions, let's say for 1 minute, and then you get to rest for 1 minute, right? Or you're having your contractions for 45 seconds and you rest for, let's say, 15 seconds. I'm just giving an example, depending on how consistent your contractions are coming. So what every minute on minute exercise does or prepares your body for is like you're exercising for 1 minute straight, and then you rest for 15 seconds and go on to the next routine. So let's say you are doing jumping jacks. You do jumping jacks for 1 minute straight, no stopping, and then you rest for 15 seconds, go on to the next exercise. Let's say you're doing squats, and you do that consistently for almost 15 minutes. That's your workout routine for that day. So I did that in my 3rd trimester almost every Saturday. So Saturday mornings, I'll do every minute on minute exercise for 15 minutes in the mornings. I tried to do that. It wasn't consistent, it wasn't every week, but I tried my best to get it done so that I'm prepared for like the physical exertion of contractions coming every minute. So that's my exercise. I will share the video on my yoga routine that I did in my 3rd trimester. I'll share that. But try to the best of your ability to stay active when you're pregnant. Not only because you don't want to gain excessive weight, but because you need your body, you need your how do I explain it? You need even the endorphins are released. You need it for your mental health. You need it for your, so that you don't have prenatal depression. You need it. You need to be fit in pregnancy. You need to be fit because it's not easy. You also want your baby to be positioned properly. I don't want to talk about the human or the anatomy of the woman's body, but your baby's head has to be turned downwards so that the baby can come out. Usually, exercise helps to prevent bridge babies. So bridge babies, like when you have your baby lying like this instead of like lying flat like this, instead of the head down, right? And when you have your baby in any position aside from the head down position, usually it is harder. You don't want a situation where they will tell you you have to have a cesarean section because your baby cannot be delivered naturally. Like if you want to have a CS on your own, that's fine, but you don't want a situation where you're already going through contractions and everything, you're already in the labor one, and tell you, oh sorry, your baby, something is wrong, your baby cannot come out, you need to have a CS. Now this is not to say that even if you exercise you won't have these issues. It's only God that helps with labor and delivery. You can only try. So try to exercise so that your baby is positioned properly. The third aspect was like my mental health, preparing myself mentally for labor and delivery. Now the honest truth is I was scared from the beginning. I was scared. I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can endure the pain. Based on all what I had like heard about like delivery, I was very scared. And then I read this paper that said that, this scientific research that said that there's a high relationship between pain and fear. So when you're scared of something, there's a high chance that it will be more painful than when you're not scared, right? And this same paper mentioned that to avoid fear of something, you need to be more knowledgeable about it. I will see if I can find that paper and link it down for if you're pregnant you would like to read it. Because of the way what we've heard about most mothers, or I know I'm talking about myself, what we've heard about pregnancy or labor and delivery over the years growing up, there's this fear that, oh my God, it's going to be so painful, it's going to be so intense, and you're scared of the process. What if I die? What if something happens to me? What if something happens to my baby? Honestly, that fear alone increases the pain you pass through during the labor. I don't know the science behind it, I don't know how it works, but honestly, I can tell you for sure that I think I was able to have a manageable birth experience because I wasn't scared. And how did I prepare myself to not be scared? Like I said, the paper said that the more knowledgeable you are about something, the less fear you experience from that thing. So I had birth classes. I would link the birth classes I did. I did 2 birth classes because we have to get all the knowledge. So I did 2 birth classes. One was more from a medical perspective. A nurse, mommy labor nurse, yeah, that's her name on Instagram. She has her birth class, so I did that. And the second perspective was the what's the word? I don't know the word right now, but it was the how do I explain it? But the second class I did was, the name of the course is the practically pain-free birth class. Yeah, that's the name. Yes, I'll link it. I'll look for it and link it. So basically, you're training your body to have a practically pain-free experience. And in that birth class, we had trainings where they tell you to hold ice in your hand. I never knew how painful that was until I actually tried it. Try holding ice cubes in your hand. It gets painful, right? So we practiced with holding ice in our hands. You're literally practicing for the pain, practicing for the experience of childbirth. So that was what that second class was about. It was more also about preparing your body, not from the medical aspect. There was some touch of medical aspect in that course, but it was more from the I don't know what to call it. I'll just link it, Sha. So taking birth classes helped me. I was knowledgeable about, okay, the 3 stages of labor, how it's going to go, how the birth process is going to push in, how I need to push. I was knowledgeable about the positions I could be. I don't have to just lie down on the bed. What I knew growing up was, when you want to deliver, you just have to lie down on the bed and say push. You can stand up to have your baby. You can have your baby in the bathtub in the hospital. You can have your baby in different positions. You can squat to have your baby. I didn't know that until I took the birth class. So if you're thinking of something that will really help you, it's birth class. It helped me mentally to prepare, and I was not scared. Like the day I was to deliver, I was not even scared at all. Another thing was positive affirmations, listening to positive birth stories. So on YouTube, I watched a lot of positive birth stories, not scary birth stories. They told me that I had a tear here, I was crying like this, I was this. I didn't listen to all of that. I tried my best to cut out every negative birth story. I'm like, don't tell me, my own went like this, my own went like that. Positive, be positive. That's what I want. So I watched a lot of positive birth stories on YouTube. That's another reason why I shared my own story, so that someone else can have it there to watch and know that you can have a positive experience. Positive affirmations in the mornings while I'm taking a shower. I listen to positive affirmation. I use the Christian Hypnobirthing app. I mentioned that in my birth story, and I listened to the tracks, to the scriptures. I literally walked hand in hand with God to build my baby. So I tried to the best of my, how do I say it? I tried, to listen to the word of God, to pray, to enrich myself with the word of God, and mentally to help me so that I'm mentally prepared for birth. So yeah, those were the things I did to prepare myself for birth. I think if I'm going to have another child, I would again follow this route. I would even be stricter with like my exercises and my meals, because I know the benefits. So if you're pregnant and you're thinking, what can I do to prepare myself for labor and delivery? Trust me, you want to eat healthy. Trust me, you want to exercise. Trust me, you want to be mentally prepared. Just try to eat healthy. Like try to exercise, even if it's just walking, even if it's just stretching, even if it's just try. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do. Please give it a thumbs up, share it with other people to watch, share it with any pregnant woman, any pregnant friend you have, anyone, so that they can also know about like the things they can do to prepare themselves for like labor and delivery. Trust me, you don't have to be naive. You can be prepared. You really can be. comments if you've had. Let me know. I want to hear from you guys too. If you've had a good experience with exercising or eating healthy, if it helped you with pregnancy, let me know. If there's something else you'd like me to share, comment about it. Share it in the comments. What else? I think that is it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really hope it blessed you. I hope you learned something. If you did, please, if you've also not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. I have a lot more to share in terms of like things that will help you with your health. I have a lot to share, so please subscribe. And if you would like to get notifications, please turn on the notification bell also, so that you can get notifications when I drop new videos. That's it, guys. Have a lovely evening or afternoon or morning wherever you are watching this video. Bye, guys.